Yes, people. It's Jacob back on the one up top. First and foremost, I want to say Happy New Year to every single one of you. I hope you had a good season, festive season. Hope you all had smiles on your faces and there was not so many things upsetting you. Unlike what I'm about to speak on now, which is the full-time result at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Aston Villa have come there and emphatically beat us 2-0. Now, before I go on to Tottenham as a whole, I'm going to speak about the game first and foremost. I don't even know where to start. First of all, I'll start off by congratulating Aston Villa. They set their stall out. They've gone and won a game where effectively they just said that they were going to sit in two banks of four. Now, for me, I've always said that's a clever way to play against this Tottenham because we haven't got any creative midfielders. We haven't got any number 10s. We haven't got anybody that feeds between the lines. The only person that can do that is our striker, who, when we leave him up front, is starved of service. So Aston Villa did their homework. It's the same thing with Brentford. They didn't exactly sit in two banks of four. They did, but they pressed a bit more. And, Brentford realistically should have won the game the other day as well. But, if I'm going to look at it first and foremost, you look at, I don't even know where to start because the whole thing is mad. First of all, I'd like to start with the manager. Now that the manager released a video the other day for me, which was an indirect dig at Daniel Levy and the board, which doesn't make good viewing for the relationship between the two of them by saying, Casemiro is a player that was ready-made and those are the sort of players that he would want, but the owners that we've got won't do that, which, in sense I agree with him, but then, if you're Conte, you should have done your homework. You should know that Tottenham don't do that. These owners don't do that. So why'd you come here then? Don't come here and moan, because for me, Conte is somebody that when it's going well, wicked. As soon as it's going bad, it's the owners. You need to look at yourself. For me, I look at it and think there's a reason why in the last 10 games, we've gone 1-0 down. Because we're not positive enough. You get teams like Liverpool in the past, you got your Man Cities, Arsenal, what they're doing now. They don't go 1-0 down. And if they do go 1-0 down, it's from a free kick or a set piece or a good goal. They're generally taking the lead because they're taking their game to the opposition. We just sit there and go, okay. So Aston Villa, even though they set up in two banks of four to defend against us, had 75% possession within the first 15 minutes. How is a team coming to Tottenham and defending and having more possession? That's ridiculous. And then but then we wonder why we're going 1-0 down. It's because the manager is setting it out like that. The manager's going to sit there and blame the players, but it's like, no, why don't you push forward? Why don't you take a defender out the back five? I don't see the point of having a back five, especially when we went into the second half with the three centre-halves all on yellow cards. Take one of them out and stick another attacker up front. You see Jurgen Klopp, for instance, Liverpool aren't doing the best that they can be, but when they go 1-0 down, they'll chuck on Nunes, Firmino, Salah, Jota, Diaz. At some point, you'll have 4 or 5 of them up front. And, when you look at their squad, they've just signed Gakpo, so there's another attacker. They want to attack. They'll be on the front foot for as long as Klopp is there, regardless of form. We're just sitting there going, don't worry about it. You can be Aston Villa or Morecambe. You can have all the ball. I don't understand that type of football. And we had it with Mourinho, flopped. We had it with Conte, flopped. These guys need money. They need the financial backing in order to set up that way, in order to succeed. If we've got somebody that ain't going to give them the money, then we've got a problem. So as far as I'm concerned, if Conte is flirting with the idea of Juventus, if Daniel Levy's coming out and saying he's not going to spend that much money, then effectively, we might as well just get rid of Conte now. Now, the reason why I say Conte out is not because of form, it's not reactionary. We might as well get rid of him now because he isn't going to sign a new deal. Conte is going to get to the end of the year, probably finish 6th or 7th and say to Daniel Levy, look, I've got Emerson Royal, I've got Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, Sessegnon, players that he doesn't want to use, Brian Gill, Lloris is getting old, we've got Fraser Forster. There's so much crap in this team. He's going to say, I need 300 million plus getting rid of all of that. Conte would want all of those players that I've just mentioned replaced and sorted out now. So why is he going to get to the end of the year and go, cool. And Daniel Levy's not going to give him 400 mil. So we might as well just get rid of him now. I said it at the beginning of the season. If we have Conte and we don't win a cup, which let's be real, we're not gonna. Tottenham are never going to win stuff. So I'd rather just support Tottenham and enjoy the football. And if we're not going to win stuff, I've supported the club 30 years. I'm not stupid and think we're going to be like a Man United or a Liverpool or a Man City or Arsenal in the past that are just going to keep winning cups. We're not going to do that. Why? Because we're a weak establishment. Everything about Tottenham is weak. If you're running a business and you're the owner and you decide that you want to be ambitious and you want to be the best in your industry, you put all your positive energy, you'll pump in your own money, you'll put the people in the right places, you'll do everything in your power to be the best, even if you're going to go into debt. But you see Daniel Levy and the Enoch group doing that? Of course they're not. They're not going to sit there and put themselves into debt. If anything, they're becoming richer. And it's the same sort of philosophy where the richer get richer, the poorer get poorer. So, while they're making their money, they're charging Tottenham fans more money. While they're getting more money, the football's becoming poorer. Do you know what I mean? For me, I've gone as far as saying that, Conte, this Conte situation isn't going to work. So I stand on my ground and say that as long as we've got Enoch, we won't win stuff. And I'm happy to just support Tottenham as long as it's good football. So in my eyes, if we got rid of Conte and brought in Pochettino, everybody hates that. But for me, I'm like, at least they'll try and play good football. We probably won't win anything, but we won't win anything anyway because these owners won't. If the owners ain't ambitious, it gets to the point where your managers will feel it, your recruitment team will feel it, your players will feel it, your fans will feel it, your ball boys will feel it. Everybody will feel it. You're looking at some of the personnel, like we brought Basuma in to be the next Dembele. He's looking more like the next Zakora. Do you know what I mean? You got Højbjerg, who everybody loves. I'm not a fan of because we've got two midfielders in this game that can't pass. But it's like, as a club, with all the money we've got, we can do a lot better. We could do so much better. But for me, it's like, if the owners have got a losing mentality, the manager's going to have that losing mentality, the players are going to feel that, and we are as fans. So I don't understand why everybody's optimistic. Generally, I thought that we should beat Aston Villa, but at the same time, I said to my kids, I wouldn't be surprised if we flop, and we did. So, I'm not even going to go into it too much. I've just got to the point where enough's enough with Tottenham. I've accepted that we're a crap club. We're a weak establishment. We've got owners that don't care. We've got a manager that's about to leave or get sacked. And we've got players that generally aren't good enough. We've got more players that I would rather sell than keep. That proves that you've got a weak, not just a weak squad, you've got a weak establishment. The recruitment has been bad. The money being pumped into players has been bad. Nobody cares about what goes on the grass. So what do you want me as Jacob Shigikili to do? Wake up in the morning and give a shit? Nah, I'm alright, thanks. I'm alright to support my club. I want them to do well, but I'm not going to allow results and the way Tottenham are run and the way managers set up players, I'm not going to allow that to destroy my demeanour anymore. There's no point. And I've been thinking that for the last, since we got rid of Mourinho, really, that's been my demeanour. I want Tottenham to do well. It's not going to happen. Enoch, as far as I'm concerned, you just need to hang up your boots and say for the last 22 years, you've brought in one League Cup, but you've brought in a stadium that you'd suggest would be of a club of stature of Man United. You're just fake. You're just covering cracks all the time. And the problem is, it's not just them, it's the fans that we have that allow it. Tottenham fans will be like, oh, Daniel Levy's bought a new stadium. All right, cool. But you might as well play over the park round the back because and save your money and go and get some proper players. Because some of these players ain't going to be here. And it's going to be a whirlwind effect. It's going to get to the point where either Conte's going to walk or Levy's going to pull the trigger because of the indirects. It gets to the point where Kane and Son, I think they've had their head turns already. So at least one of them is going to leave. But then we all know what's going to happen. Conte's going to walk. We're going to bring Pochettino. And the deluded fans that we got are going to be so excited. And as much as we're going to get good football, we're not going to win. So as far as I'm concerned, whether you've got Conte, Mourinho, Pochettino, Martin Jol, those managers are good managers that would have been successful. But then when you've got owners like Enoch, you might as well bring in Mickey Mouse. So that's me as far as I'm concerned. I hope you all have a blessed rest of the day. If you've got a day off tomorrow, even better. And I'll see you when we play Palace away when we probably lose again. Take care.